The technology out there is going to take us places that we never dreamed of. We can have all the fancy iron in the world, the newest asphalt plants, but none of that will do well if you don't have good people. It's scary to think sons, daughters, wives, husbands are out there, and a piece of plastic is the only thing that separates them from a vehicle moving that fast. It's the call at 1 o'clock in the morning that you never want to get. We were finishing an intersection, just about the last load. A drunk driver came into the work zone, probably 70 miles an hour, and hit her.
Welcome to the Edge podcast. My name is Tristan Wilson. I'm the CEO and founder at Edge Vanta. And today I am thrilled to be sitting down with Skip Partington. Skip is the president of Barnhill Contracting Company, one of the largest and most respected heavy civil contractors in the South. We're going to talk today about what it takes to lead a 75-year-old family business. Why work zone safety is personal for Skip, how Skip thinks about technology and staying independent when private equity and public companies are buying everyone up, and what he actually looks at every day to know that things are running right in a large heavy civil construction operation. So, Skip, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Awesome. So the first thing I wanted to ask you was if you could tell me a little bit about your background and help me maybe understand how a communications major and lineman from Wake Forest ends up running one of the largest contractors in the Southeast.
Divine intervention probably is the best way to put it, but I started off, one of my good friends in high school, his father owned a paving company in Raleigh, and Mr. Blaylock Paving. Mr. Blaylock gave us an opportunity to work there, and we'd work on the patching crew. I'd drive a single axle dump truck, and just got to work with a bunch of such fine people that it gets in your blood. So I enjoyed doing that. I would do it during the summers and get acclimated, to being outside and be ready for camp when we got back to college for football. And just hot summers in that asphalt, is back in the day when when we do patching, we would actually cut it with an axe. You'd get down on your knees, draw a straight line, and hit it with an axe and cut it out like that. We didn't have quickie saws back then, so
For pre-flat saw days.
So I just the salt of the earth kind of people that had been doing it for many years, and I learned so much from them, and it was just wonderful because you could be with different people every day, and just learn from the people down on the ground, and I really enjoyed that. And so I continued to do that during my summers while I was at college, and like I said, it got in my blood, and I loved doing it. So I graduated, had an opportunity to go to work for a trucking company as a management trainee, and had to wear a coat and tie every day. That was the first downfall for that.
Wow.
And I did that for a while, and it wasn't for me. So I went back with Blaylock Paving, and Mr. Blaylock was so nice to give me a chance to come back and do that. And with the college education, I was on a small paving crew and patching crew. We did driveways, and Mr. Barnhill had 3 sons, three very smart gentlemen, and had 3 very smart sons. And he came up to me and said, I know you want to do more, but I got 3 sons. And he said, how about if I give you a chance to interview with Barnhill Contracting Company? And I said, sure, that'd be great. And they were Barnhill's office was right down the road, and um, I went and interviewed with Kermit Moser, who's somebody I admire greatly, uh, and he gave me an opportunity to come with Barnhill. And the plan was to ultimately get into project management estimating, but my first days and months was cleaning out the coal feed bins at the asphalt plant. And of course, being on at that time, Blaylock didn't have an asphalt plant. So it was new to me, and I certainly didn't mind it, but it was another chance to learn and meet different people and just get involved that way. And that's how I got started. And, eventually there were opportunities for me to move up in operations. And uh, that was where I kind of flourished because I got to work with different people every day, got to travel, got to be outside. But I did have a that previous opportunity to know the numbers and the cost. So things made a lot more sense when I was on the operation sides and running the field. And I loved it and never turned back. So
Awesome. Well, like you, my first experience was in the field. I think when I was maybe 14 or 15 was the first job that I got, and I remember I wanted to work in the office so bad. I was like, oh man, like I got to figure out the plans, the specs. I need to go. I think I need to go talk to the CFO. And my dad's like, I got just the person you need to talk to. It's a paving foreman, and that whole paving crew that's with him. Those are the guys that are going to teach you what you need to know. It's interesting. I was listening to a speech by Joey Anderson, who's the head of Anderson Columbia out of Georgia and Florida and Texas, and he said, I grew up around a bunch of road guys. He's like, he's like, they didn't teach me how to do this, give this speech, but they taught me a lot of really good stuff. They taught me a lot of really good values. So I think we both share that. The coming up that way is, I think, so important. And then everybody who interacts with you knows that that's where you come from. And I think it earns a lot of credibility, and respect, and also just appreciation and understanding for what it takes to get up every single day and go do it. These are people with families and lives, and they have a lot going on. So I think being sympathetic to that is one of the things that I really admire about you. Um, so what do you think playing football taught you that still applies to like running a construction company?
well, obviously the team atmosphere, relationships. When you I think when you sweat with people that you work with, uh, and you're all working for a common goal, uh, it just creates that camaraderie that you can't help but appreciate, that you look forward to going back to. And uh, I just enjoyed that so much. It was difficult, it was hot, it was tiring, but I wanted to go back for more. It was just being with the people, and we were all commiserating together, and it made it fun. So
Yeah. So Skip, you've been at Barnhill for 37 years, is that
38,
right?
38.
Okay, 38. So 38 years, that's a long time. What made you stay?
Wow. Well, the exact thing I was just talking about. It's the people. You know, I'm a young buck compared to some. Some been 55 years, 50 years, 45 years here. Um, we're blessed to to be able to retain people, and I think that's because uh, we love our people. We realize that we can't be successful without them, and they make things go. We can have all the fancy iron in the world, the newest asphalt plants, but none of that'll do well if you don't have good people. And that the Barnhills, uh, are the most humble people, and they really care. Uh, and that creates the family environment. So you don't want to leave. We're like any family. We're dysfunctional. We're not perfect, but but I think at the end of the day, we really deeply care about everybody here. And if you're in a bind, somebody's going to be there to help you. Uh, so I think I think we've had people that have gone for greener pastures, um, and come back to us and said, that's the one thing I missed, and that's what made me come back, is because we were we are a family, and that's one of our most important values.
Yeah. Um, and that definitely comes through. I mean, I've spent a lot of time, been fortunate to spend a lot of time with, in different Barnhill offices from, I guess, Raleigh all the way
Yeah.
to the coast. And that definitely shines through, with the folks that I've met. And and the fact that like anybody you ask, you're like, how long have you been here? They're like, it's like 10, 18, 28. It's pretty that's pretty amazing and very, I think, telling of the kind of culture that you all have at Barnhill. Could you talk a little bit about kind of the organization and kind of the size and maybe a little bit about like the building group and kind of the other divisions, within
Okay.
Barnhill?
Well, we started in 1949. Mr. Barnhill, Mr. Long started with some oxes and some equipment they bought surplus from World War II, and uh, starting to build roads farm to market from Raleigh to Tarboro and down east. And we got our start there. And then in 1977, we started with our building division and went vertical. And man, they have done just a fantastic job in growing, and they do all sorts of things, and have just a fantastic group of people uh, on our building side. And uh, we do things a lot differently. Uh, it's amazing, that they're negotiating and we're hard bid. So, you know, we recognize that, but we're still part of each family, and uh, there's some good synergies there that help us on both sides. So, uh, as far as the philosophies, I guess we're kind of the skinny onion philosophy. We don't have a lot of layers. We kind of run lean, sometimes to our detriment, but we have now seen the light as far as succession, and we need to build some bench strength. So we understand the necessity to prepare for the next generation. But we run at a division level. Uh, we've got 6 operating divisions on the civil side, and then uh, our building group. But they're run by a division vice president or division manager, uh, and they are responsible solely for their area, for the P&L. And
Could you tell me a little bit about that divisional structure and why that works the way that it does, for Barnhill? Because I see different ways of doing things. I see folks say, "Hey, we like to have it all centralized," and these are large companies, multi-hundred-million-dollar civil construction companies, and then I see others that run more of a divisional setup. So just curious as to your thoughts on the setup and why you all have gone that route.
well, I have to give credit to Bob Barnhill. He started the division concept Uh, you know, it creates a team uh, for a certain geographical region of the company that is embedded in a certain or different communities within their region. So the division concept is, you're going to sleep in your bed every night. You're going to go home. Occasionally we'll have to work out of town, but that's very seldom. But you know, those division managers, those team members in those divisions are responsible for what goes on there. We give them a lot of autonomy uh, to run the divisions as they see fit, and they're responsible at the end of the day for their P&L, and it's done very well for us, and uh, we're so blessed to have some great leaders, great leaders running those divisions, and we're uh, we've got a corporate office, and we've got obviously our support team, HR, shop, IT, all of that supports each division.
Great. Yeah, I come, I worked in a divisional type setup before, and I'm a big believer in that. I think it's also good to have it's the idea of like a city state, like big, large governments that are fully centralized are very susceptible to like bad stuff happening, and if it does, it can take the whole thing down. Whereas division one, I think there's just more ownership of like this is ours, and we're gonna fully kind of have the authority to like make the call on picking profit margin, hiring people, bidding work, those types of things, with some influence, but to be given the opportunity to succeed and fail a
Sure.
little bit too, because that's how you
Well,
grow.
they're the boots on
Uh,
the ground, and you know, it, it it doesn't seem fair or right for me to sit here in Rocky Mountain and dictate uh, how things should run in Kitty Hawk because I'm not there. But that's why you have to have good leaders and you have to have trust. And like I said, we're very blessed to have some great leaders.
right. Well, speaking of people, I did want to talk about something that happened. I believe it was in 2024. You all lost a team member in a work zone. Um, I wanted to see if you might could tell me about what that experience was like.
Um, Michelle Von Zergen, uh, a day before her 54th birthday, was uh, she had she had been a truck driver, and she had trying to get her CDL straight. So she's out of a truck for a while and like 2 weeks before she could get back in the truck. So she was helping out with traffic control until she was able to get her CDL back in line. And we were finishing an intersection, putting down just about the last load, um, and a drunk driver uh, came into the work zone, probably 70 miles an hour, and you know hit her. And we were able to see some of it on the onboard camera on the dump truck in the intersection, but it was just a blur. It happened so fast. There were barricades, there were flashing lights, there were police, you know, on the other end of the lane closure, but there were blue lights out there. But the driver just didn't have any idea, just totally out of it, and just um, it was just a bad night, and just never should have happened, and that hurt really bad. Um, it's the call at 1 o'clock in the morning that you never want to get, and um, it affected us greatly. and you know, she had family on the paving crew, so they were there, and just so senseless. Um, I just a terrible thing, and had we had the ability to shut down that road, um, completely, um, things might have been different. But just a terrible accident.
Mm. Well, I appreciate you sharing, sharing that with our audience, because I think a lot of people who watch, who follow us are have folks that are out there in work zones every night, and it is you're absolutely right. It's the worst phone call, the phone call that that you never would ever want to receive. But I think, there's a phrase that I like, that's never let a good crisis go to waste. And I wanted to find out from you, um, after Michelle and that work zone intrusion, um, you know, what what have you all done kind of differently since that happened, and a little bit more about like the work that you've done with the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
Well, we've worked with our local AGC chapter, North Carolina, uh, also Kappa, Carolina Asphalt Paving Association, Ellis Powell. Uh, tried to work with the legislature to increase the police presence, to increase blue light presence. There's you know kind of slow playing writing tickets uh, in the work zone, so it's just going to be a a constant battle until we can get that across to our legislature to write the laws. And you know, I've been out there many times, and uh, a barrel is the only thing that separates the paving crew from 70, 75 miles an hour, and you can just for that split second you can see somebody driving by and they're just looking at their phone, uh, and they're just have no idea what's going on, and uh, it's scary to think that sons, daughters, wives, husbands are out there, and piece of plastic's the only thing that separates them from a vehicle moving that fast. And we got to do a better job of protecting our people. Um, safety. Uh, we can't do enough. And I just I feel strongly about that, and we're working hard. With anything with laws and the legislature, it takes time, and uh, I'm not real patient when it comes to that. So every opportunity I get to stand on a stump and talk about it, I do it because I'm passionate about keeping our people safe, and every other paving crew in the country, or pipe crew or milling crew, uh, anyone that's out there on that road just takes their life in their own hands every day, and you shouldn't have to worry about being killed just to go to work.
100%. And the worst part about it to me is you can do everything right, absolutely right, and still lose somebody, which is bullshit, in my opinion. And we have taken, we have, I think, let the I'm this is my opinion. We have let the politicians take over and basically allow, think that the public shouldn't be inconvenienced at all, and that we should work in this really tight window and this really small time at night and only close one lane at a time. When if you go to other countries, they're shutting down the entire interstate on weekends and repaving it. They shut it down, they detour them, and they go out there and they do echelon paving on the
Yeah,
main line. And everybody's happy because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the whole road shut down, and you don't have to worry about being next to 70-mile-an-hour traffic.
and you get a better
But
product in the end.
we don't you get a you get better compaction, you get better joint density, you get everything.
Rideability.
And some reason in our country we had not figured this out, and it's frankly ridiculous that we can't shut down a road and have somebody go around. It's okay for you to go take a 20-minute detour for us to do this work and to do it safely. And we need to rebuild this country, and we need to be able to do it safely, and we need people to do that, and they shouldn't have to be out there risking their lives every single shift. So
Amen.
this is one of the big things that I think our industry can do a lot better job of, and it takes like starting somewhere, grassroots, local level, work with the Asphalt Association, the Road Builders Association, or the
And
AGC,
Napa,
and get lost.
I know Napa are working on
Yeah,
that
and
hard
Napa,
too.
and yeah, and but just talking about it's not enough, and I really hope that we can make some progress in this in the next few years. So yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. All right, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit, and I want to ask you more about running the company and some of the things that you think about, or that you're watching. Um, what what do you actually look at every day to know that the company is performing?
Uh, well, again, every opportunity I get, I put it on my calendar as a field day. It's like a PTO day if I can get out in the field and see the people. That's my barometer. Obviously, we have almost real time cost reports, at least weekly. We look at. Got a monitor over my head with software that shows when the plant drops the load. Uh, every truck that leaves, the fleet watcher. Utilizing that. It's just and then uh, constant communication with the COO and the division managers, getting feedback, uh, and just listening, asking questions. Um, I, I'm a kind of a pick up a hot rock kind of guy. I'm not going to do that again. That's how I learn. so, uh, I've learned from experience, and certainly uh, no stranger to failure, but uh, it teaches a good lesson. So I learn, you know, based on what my great mentors, have taught me in my career, and that's kind of my path to follow. I've been blessed with many great teachers.
Yeah, yeah, you and me both. I did want to ask you about the field, like going out and seeing people in the field. It's one thing I always love to ask. Leaders of construction companies. How often are you typically doing that? How often would you like to be doing that? And what do you do when you go to a job site?
Well, not enough is the answer. Uh, in my new role, there's uh, a lot of different things that take up my time. But like I said, getting out of the field is uh, it's just really like a vacation day. I get out there and go to a plant or go to a job site, put on my vest and hard hat, and I feel like I'm home. you know, and just talking with the guys and girls, and laughing, and uh, you know, trying to find out uh, what issues they might have. You know, uh, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? And just watching, and you know, they're my guideposts. They kind of the people tell me, uh, you know, what we need to be doing better, and uh, we have a mentor protege program here, and I always joke I sign up to be the protege. Everyone else is my mentor, and Because I think any mentor protege relationship, you both learn from that, and uh, uh, we've got a lot of smart people, and every opportunity I get a chance to get out there, they would probably tell you that they don't see me enough, or not that they want to see me, but that I don't get that out there as much as I should. Um, but yeah, it's important uh, for leadership to be embedded with the people that you serve, and let them know that you care. And I think that's probably that is the most important part of my job.
Mm. I appreciate you sharing that. I think a lot of people, it's almost like they need it's almost like they need permission to go to the field in management because there's so much going on, right? The inbox is filling up, there's I got to get this letter written, or I got to go deal with this claim, or deal with this subcontractor issue or whatever. But we can easily lose track of kind of what matters. And I think keeping that pulse of regular check-ins, asking the right questions, having kind of a curiosity, when out in the field, is a big deal. And then also just presence. Like your presence is so important, and it says a lot. The fact that you're, that you're there, and that people, see you, and you're visible. And I think this is something that especially the younger project management, field engineers who, those types of folks that aren't in the field every day, maybe, can lose sight of. But like, that's never going to go out of style, going out in the field and spending time, with the crews. And so something that you and I have spent, a little bit of time, talking about, like kind of the 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 work life, balance side of things, and improving the quality of life for for management and construction. It's just a hard industry. There's days, there's nights, constant phone calls. It starts early and it sometimes ends late. How do you kind of think about that, at Barnhill, and what are some of the things that, that you all are doing to try to improve the experience, and make life better for the folks who are managing projects as well?
Uh, well, I mean, it's a journey to try and make life better for everyone. We want Barnhill to be the best place to work, uh, and that's just a constant journey. But you know, our philosophy is that our project managers and estimators are one. Uh, they take projects from cradle to grave. Uh, uh, we feel like that's the best way. If one person has ownership of the job and sees it through, uh, and is responsible for the gain or fade at the end. So uh, try and provide those guys and girls, ladies, to to create a better work-life balance for them. We look at certain softwares that can save them time, such as Edgevanta. Uh, Also, we are working with Procore, um, and my goal in my tenure here is to uh, have succession planning in place for the next generation so that they're successful. And I believe that work life balance is so important uh, uh, to everyone nowadays, but especially the next generation. That if we don't utilize technology, uh, we're going to just fall into mediocrity and not have the efficiencies that we need to provide that work life balance. Uh, and plus provide us with the analytics to get better. And uh, I think that's very important, and it's an integral part of our succession plan. Uh, is to make sure that we have the technology in place, not only to attract people but to retain them, and to retain them You can't work them to death. Uh, so you know, we want to make a profit, and we work hard to make sure we have every tool available to do that. And working hard is one of those tools, but it can't be the only tool. So we have to work smart too.
Understood. Yeah, I
I
really
hope
appreciate
hope
that.
that answers your question.
It does. You did a great job. Thank you. So I did want to ask you. We were talking a little bit earlier about like mentorship and I wanted to ask you about your peer group. Um, because I know that I have a lot of respect for for that group and just a long history and it's just a I just wanted to hear from you like tell me a little bit about kind of the peer group and what you've what value kind of you see there maybe for somebody who isn't in a peer group what's the experience like.
Um, well, if you're not a member of one, I strongly suggest it. But I am just so blessed to be uh, with a peer group of such highly intelligent, motivated, uh, just out of this world people. We've got 9 members in our peer group. Uh, no peer group touches another, um, so we don't compete. Uh, but we're able to share ideas and problems and talk freely and just the information that's gathered that you can bring back and uh, you realize that hey, I've been doing this wrong for a long time. There's somebody out there that can do it better, and you know uh, we just got a fantastic peer group, and I would suggest to anyone that's watching this video if you have the capability to join a peer group, it'll be one of the best things that you ever did for you and your company. Um, it's intimidating because there's a lot of smart people out there just like you, that have been doing it a long time, see things differently. But at the end of the day, uh, I can speak for the peer group I'm in. It's the people that they work with day in and out are the most important things, and that's one thing I really enjoy uh, as we were talking about safety. It's wonderful to hear the way other people approach that and attack it, and uh, I love to be able to bring back good ideas. Uh, my the folks I work with, uh, I come back and I have all these great ideas, and they say, "Oh, you've been to a peer group meeting." Uh, uh, so it's just a wonderful experience, and just it's um, it's just a great way to learn. That once you get over the fact that you're surrounded by a lot of very smart people, um, and you feel comfortable, you can you can take have a lot of takeaways and uh, not feel guilty about using them um, in your own company. So it's I, like I said before, we're not perfect in any way, but uh, it's wonderful to be able to share things that we do, uh, and people think that it's a good idea, and likewise, it's good to be on the other side and garner and glean good ideas from them.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you an interesting story. So, when my family's business, Barrier Construction, we had never done a design build job before, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Barnhill was one of the first design build highway construction companies. When that first started to become a thing. And when I was coming up to visit you guys for the first time, I was meeting with Alan. Uh, and I called the former CFO of Barry, and I'm like, "I'm gonna go talk to these Barnum guys." Like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, real nice guy." Well, we had no idea what the hell we were doing on design build, and we called them, and they told us everything that we needed to know. And we're like super helpful, and so yeah, it's just interesting how it, pay it forward. So Yeah, really neat. Uh, I wanted to talk a little bit about bidding and estimating. I know this is something that you and I have spent a lot of time, discussing. How do you think about like which projects to chase and which ones to walk away from?
Uh, well, we're we're risk averse. We look at a project and weigh the opportunity and weigh the risk. Um, you know, there aren't a lot of projects that we would walk away from, but there are some. We've done it in the past that uh, the specs are too crazy, or there's not enough time to get it done, or um, it's just not a good fit. And we will deselect a job. Uh, we'll take the time to get into it and do our due diligence and see, this is a little bit too risky for us. And we'll step back and let somebody else take it and learn from them. But you know, uh, if we can somehow quantify the risk and feel like that, we've got it covered, then we'll pretty much take on most projects. But we are uh, very attuned to um, what the risk may be, uh, either safety wise, special revision wise, uh, time wise. All those things rolled up into one help us make a decision on whether we actually bid the job. But there's not many that we don't.
Understood. What would you say? You sat in on a lot of bid reviews, I'm sure. What would you say separate in probably cost complete meetings? So what would you say separates a well prepared estimator from an average one?
Ah, you know, in my bid reviews, I've always enjoyed to the best ones are where uh, the estimator has obviously been to the job, whether it's resurfacing, Miller Field, not looking at it on Google Maps, knows it. Uh, uh, you know, you can ask questions, and most of the questions you get an answer to, but there's some questions where you get I don't know, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's let's find out the answer, but uh, let's don't move forward without getting a good answer. But you know, knowing their cost, I'd love to see it just at the cost level, uh, without any profit, and then you know, I want to know that we know our true cost, uh, and that we've covered our risk, and then we can talk about margin, and it's with the combination of ACSS, Advanta, all other kinds of software out there. You know, nothing takes away the need for just due diligence, knowing the job, knowing the specifications. Uh, Sometimes you end up knowing more than your competitor, and that costs you. But I'd rather do that than not know it and need it before we got to the end when we were doing that cost accounting.
Wow. A low bid is just a ticket
That's
to the
right.
dance. How do you think about pricing on the bidding side of things? How do you think about pricing strategically without leaving excess money on the table or losing jobs?
Um, wow, that's something that we all chase. Uh, you know, that, you know, knowing your market, knowing your competitors, that's to me, that's the most important thing. And I'll have to tell you, and probably a lot of people will laugh or gasp, but you know, once you've done it for a long time, you have that gut feeling because you know your market, you know your estimators. you're familiar with the job and your community and uh, what you're going to be doing, and you just, you have a feeling one way or another what the job's going to allow, and you know, plus you take all the information that you can get from all the softwares that we use now to put together pricing, but uh, at the end of the day, I would say knowing your market, uh, knowing your competitors, um, uh, is the best way to not leave a lot of money on the table.
Great. Um, Speaking of a market, Barnhill has a reputation of paying on time. Why does that matter uh so much?
Uh, well, if we want competitive pricing from our subcontractors, uh, it's number one, it's the right thing to do, but it's covered by the specifications to be paid on time. But we've always done that. There are times that things get lost or misplaced, and we haven't done it. But as a rule, we pay on time every time, and you get the best subcontractors that way. Uh, you get a better team. There's You're not fighting about not getting paid. You're and you're able to glean the best subcontractors out there to help you do your work. And hopefully, at the end of the day, it provides you with more competitive pricing from those subcontractors if you pay them on time.
Yeah. Big believer in that and the long-term relationships building, that comes as a part of that, cuz a big part of, even if you're prime on, 80, 85, 90% of the work, it's still really important to have the best subcontractors, and suppliers on the job, and part of part of that is we earn that competitive pricing by paying, and then also by execution, and by being able to go out there and give them good quantities, and make a lot of work available, by being efficient, and just doing good quality work as well. So we could probably do a whole podcast episode just on that.
There's no doubt about that. We couldn't survive
Um,
without them.
um, well, I'm curious. I wanted to get your thoughts on consolidation in the construction industry. I know, just there's a lot of private equity, in construction, and you all are a longstanding, family business, and there's a lot of M&A activity, especially in the Southeast with paving and highway and civil contractors. And materials companies. Just wanted to see, like, what do you see happening with consolidation in the industry, and how do you feel about it as somebody who works in a longstanding, family business?
Well, this is one island that I don't mind being on. I I look at the consolidation and the acquisitions that have gone on in the past few years, and I can only take from what I hear. Like I said, people that unfortunately left us to look at the greener grass and come back, and um, I've never worked for a publicly held company, but what I thought would happen is what I hear when people come back is that it's not a family atmosphere in all of the places, and I just think being a family owned company is just a great place to work if your owners uh, want to continue to stay in business. Uh, I wouldn't I wouldn't trade what I do for anything in the world, uh, but you know it's it's prolific right now. It just seems to be happening everywhere, and it's uh, kind of crazy if you want to know the truth. And I, I just I think we are blessed, have such great ownership, and that's uh, we sit back on the sidelines and watch it happen and scratch our heads. And um, you know, I think that there are a lot of successful acquisitions going on out there, and we're certainly interested in growing smartly ourselves. But I just I want to keep it as a family atmosphere. I want to maintain our values, uh, and just uh, I think it's great for a great opportunity for businesses that don't have succession planning. Uh, that's a good opportunity for them to get out gracefully and um, you know keep the legacy at some point instead of just closing the doors.
Great. Appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. There's just so much of that, going on today in the industry. And yeah, it's like it can't be overlooked because
Right,
it's everywhere.
right.
Yeah. Well, so I appreciate you sharing that. What are you most excited about for the next few years?
Oh man. Well, technology for one, I'm interested to see how AI is going to uh, affect our business. You know, autonomous working equipment. I think we've got one blue light roller that
Shout out to Dick. He's a newsletter reader and a
yeah,
podcast listener.
uh, it's very interesting to watch. I see the cost benefit at some point in time, uh, and the safety uh, possibilities with it. We got to get our arms around it, and you know, it's coming. Uh, got a little work to do on it, but I think AI, helping us with our mix designs, with uh, just everything, how we document. A short pencil's better than a long memory, and you can use AI to help you document as long as you proofread. Uh, it's just the technology out there is going to take us places that we never dreamed of, and that's part of my job is to hopefully get us in a place where uh, the next generation can make new decisions like that profitably, uh, do the best thing.
Yeah. I think it's you guys really you've walking the line of how do we maintain our culture and our values and our heritage while still saying let's make sure that we're fully aware of everything that's going on out there and let's try some of this and let's if there's passion, if there's interest, as well as of course ROI, and it's applicable to what we do, let's give it a shot. And I think you all have done a fantastic job with that. And also, I think kind of stepped away from the herd a little bit in some ways, with how you're kind of thinking about things and new things that you're trying. So I think that's fantastic and part of kind of what it takes. I mean, the other thing too is that a lot of people that have, I think, tried new things, like our friend Dan Garcia, with like what they did with the, operator training, at CW Matthews, like, and you hear him tell the journey, and it's like, yeah, this started several years ago. We've been working on it for a long time. It was not perfect, but we just had to get started. Like we just had to dip our toe in and were there issues? Did we have of course there were, but, like, that was all part of the journey to get to where we are today, where we're bringing young people, into the workforce and doing, some of the innovative things, that you guys are doing, at Barnhill as
No,
well. So,
we've
uh
I have to give a shout out. We have got our vice president of leadership and development, Greg Odie, and we started our value-based leadership journey. And, that's really helped us on the succession level at all levels. But, leadership, that I would hope that all the viewers recognize, if you want to maintain your values, if you want to be competitive, you've got to realize that your younger people want a pathway. You you need to take the time. They're interested. They want to learn. They want to know why, how. So you're gonna have to open the doors a little bit and be a little bit transparent. Maybe get uncomfortable a little bit, but um, I think that just endears your employees even more when you do that. And we recognize the fact that you know not everybody's going to start on a patch of crew swinging an axe to cut asphalt. Uh, they're going to come out of school and want to start their journey, and we've got to figure out ways to get them up to speed on the things that we've learned. And we've started programs like Emerging Leader Foreman, where we take people that stand out in their divisions and put them in a class and just kind of put it in fifth gear and go and teach them all the things that we think are important to be a good foreman. And we do that at a project manager support level too. We have classes for those people, and it's amazing to see how they grow and learn and the questions that they ask. And uh, you would never uh, you'd never think sometimes that particular person would be as interested as they are as estimating or how a plant runs. Just it's a great opportunity to teach our people and bring them up to speed and again create the family atmosphere, all pulling in the same direction.
Yep. Awesome. Well, that's probably a great place for us to wrap up. Skip, I've known you for a long time and for a while now, and I've always respected how you operate, and I've had the have been blessed to be able to spend time with the Barnhill teams and gotten to know you all as well as I have. So thanks for being open about all this. I think some of the things that we talked about around the leadership, around development, safety, peer groups, and innovation are going to be really impactful for our viewers. So for folks who want to connect with Barnhill or learn more, where should they go?
BarnhillContracting.com. You know, uh, Feel free to call me at any time. Uh, we'd love to help out people in the same industry because I think we have a great industry. The best people in the world. So, uh, just hope everyone will concentrate on keeping their people safe you know, and just enjoy the many blessings that we have in our industry. So, thank you for the opportunity to talk today. And uh, as always, come back and see me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Skip. This has been great. I really
All right.
appreciate the time. Thanks again.
Bye bye.